Hello, and welcome to a new kind of episode here at Homeschool Moms Unfiltered. My name is Meagan, and my fabulous co-host is...
Hey, I'm Amanda.
Hello, and welcome.
Hey.
So if you have followed us for any period of time, you might know that historically, for the past, goodness, year plus, we have released a book club episode every Thursday. And it's always been Amanda and me reading the book, and then we show up here and we shoot the shit about the book, and you can read along with us, but you don't have to. And it's kind of like a Sparks Notes homeschool parents edition of parenting books, homeschooling books, educational philosophy, all of the above. We threw in a zinger about menopause at one point. So, whatever is topical at the time, that's what we read. So we've been talking about it throughout the summer, but we have switched our book club mojo and moved it over to Zoom through our Patreon community so that we actually get to chat with you all about the books. And so we are fresh off of our very first Zoom book club meeting, which was super freaking exciting. We are reading Brave New Words, How AI Will Revolutionize Education and Why That's a Good Thing by Salman Khan, the Khan Academy guy. And we're not telling you that it's a good thing or that you should absolutely jump onto the AI bandwagon, but we're having fun exploring what he thinks about it. So yeah, fresh off our meeting. What do you think of tonight's meeting, Amanda? Did you have fun?
Well, yeah, it's always nice, right, when you get more perspectives. So, yeah, anyone who has listened to us at all knows that I personally am pretty skeptical of AI. I don't know if it's fair to say I'm anti-AI because I realize that we use it in lots of different ways that we don't even realize. And most of those ways make life a lot easier. I'm a real big fan of Google search. So let's be fair, AI and ChatGPT and Google search, they're all part of the same family. But this book in particular, right? So the tagline is How AI Will Revolutionize Education and Why That's a Good Thing. I'm not sold. We did the intro parts 1 and 2. I'm still not sold. There were some interesting things for me. And I love the fact that in book club now, we get to have conversations with other people and hear their perspective. Because for me, I'm a big, I like to hear other people's perspectives and use that to shape and change my kind of worldview on things. I know not everyone enjoys that, but I really enjoy that kind of conversation and dialogue. So yeah, I think out of this first book club, what it really came down to for me is kind of two-part. One is that I think there are some interesting applications in education and AI. And in this specific situation, we talked a lot about Khan Mingo because, as you said, this book was written by the Khan Academy guy. And so I think there are some interesting applications. I think it's lacking a lot of critical thinking that I would want if I was going to primarily use that. But there's still some other interesting applications that we might explore in our family. The other side of it is I have real concerns about accessibility. And I know that it's being positioned, especially in this book, as something that kind of helps lift all boats. But for me, I'm looking at it and thinking that it looks a little bit more like those with a certain amount of privilege get further ahead and those without that privilege fall further behind. I have real concerns about it.
Yeah, they're valid points. I'll be interested to see how the rest of the book shapes up with some of those other things because there were some superficial examples in this earlier part of the book. So it's like maybe as we read on, we get deeper examples. Hard to say, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's
we'll
it.
find out.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly what. I tried looking at the headings to get an idea. I was trying to look and see if he addresses any of the environmental concerns or impacts or things like that. And from the headings, it didn't look like he did, but that does not mean that they're not there in something else because the headings are a little abstract. So how about you? What did you get? What were kind of your top points from book club?
Yeah, well, I do have some, but it's interesting that you say if he doesn't address the environmental impacts because he talks about how intermeshed Khan Academy is with AI. So it's kind of that classic case of who wrote the thing, what's their bias, what's their agenda, because obviously, yeah, he doesn't have a reason to go out there and be like, this is not great for the environment. So that part might be missing from the book. That might be something you have to source outside of the book. But yeah, I think for me, some of the bigger takeaways were I like the fact that he just explained how AI works and how it communicates messages and how it search and how it differs from Google and other internet functions, because I am not a technical human being. And so for me, it was kind of like I've used AI, but I don't have a clue how it works aside from using oodles of water to cool down data centers. That's my understanding of how AI works up until this point. And I thought he used some really great analogies and stuff. I mean, he talks about the fact that he started Khan Academy as a free tutoring service among his relatives and that he was doing the tutoring. And so I was like, I can see that you are an educator because you have just taught me, who knows nothing about technology in that regard, how this works in a way that was easy to understand without being patronizing. He walked a really, I thought, great line between those things. So I liked that. That was one of my big takeaways this week. And then one of my others is I just really keep trying to reframe my thoughts around AI, around other historical pushes and groundbreaking innovations that had people's panties all in a twist over this, that, or the other thing. And kind of reading the book through that lens of like, is this different? Or is this a thing where 50 years from now, people are going to be like, can you believe people were upset about ChatGPT the same way they were upset about the internet or having a computer in their house or whatever the case might be, right? And I'm not sure if it'll be the same or not, because maybe some of these other enhancements, I mean, some of the ones that he brought up were the calculator, the personal computer, the internet, but are these all incremental leaps? The calculator was like a baby step of technology taking over some of the thought process for humans. And then the computer was a slightly bigger step, and the internet was an even bigger step. And then something like ChatGPT is like jumping over the Grand Canyon size step. So maybe each of these things are similar in that they transform society and the way we educate ourselves and the way we recall information and the way we lean into learning new things. But are they compounding exponentially at a rate that is impossible to compare between ChatGPT and a calculator, right? I mean, it seems that that would be pretty logical to assume. But anyway, we had some really good conversation kind of around those topics tonight. And so it'll definitely give me something to noodle as I'm lying in bed tonight and getting ready to go to sleep and be like, and another thing, right? Do you ever have those where you're like in the shower or you're like laying in bed, you're like, you know, God, you're kind of continuing the conversation in your own head. So I could see that happening tonight.
For sure.
Yeah. So I'll be excited to see how the rest of the book shapes up. I think it'll be interesting. And we've just a really solid group of people for book club, which makes it really fun. And listen, putting it out there. Some people have read the book, some people haven't. Either way, zero judgment from us. I mean, we had a couple of people who showed up who were like, I'm at work and I'm just listening. I'm cooking dinner and I'm just listening. You know, come. You do not have to have read the book. If you're like, I cannot commit to one more thing, come join us. You can be a fly on the wall for the conversations. You can chime in where you feel comfortable. And then we have other people who show up with little tags on their books and highlights and notes in the margins. So it's kind of a take what serves you and bring what you'd like to the meetings and have some fun and learn something new. So we would love to welcome you. You can come to book club in a variety of different ways. We have an all access membership that gets you all sorts of live meetings and unit study and all sorts of Patreon perks. But you can literally just join and come to book club. So we meet every other Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Again, read, don't read, but just come. Build community, hang out with some other homeschool parents. Good times.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then we'll try to do this thing after each book club, like just a little kind of recap. It'll either be our big takeaways, or if the group got really passionate about something, maybe it'll be what the group discussion specifically was about. But we won't be doing the big deep dive here anymore on Thursdays. So yeah, if you enjoyed that and you want to be a part of it, definitely look into that. It's on Patreon. If you're not quite ready to do it yet, because you're like, oh, I don't know about this book, but I did really like it and I'm afraid I'm going to miss it. Just join Patreon. There's a free way to free member follow us. And we send out like a monthly newsletter and we put updates and stuff. So you'll be able to see when we picked a new book and we're ready and we're getting ready to start. And if you want to dive in or whatever, it'll be easy enough as long as you're following in the free option there.
Yeah, we would love to welcome you.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce. Well, in the meantime, have an awesome rest of your day and happy homeschooling.
Yeah. Have a great one.